freed up a lot of time because I'm not taking that time. And I'll be honest, it would take me like an hour a day to come up with one freaking post. That no, that's too stressful. I ain't got time for that. Like I am in this, of course, because I want to change lives and the income, but I'm in this because I wanted time freedom, and I wasn't getting time freedom until these we started doing these Zooms and diving more deep into them and the content, and it's different.
Yep. And I'll kind of like describe it. So I meal prep obviously for what's going on, but I'm gonna give an analogy. There was this girl that commented because I did a video yesterday, a live like making food or whatever, and she's like, I've wanted to get into meal prepping. I just feel like it's time consuming. And I told her, I was like, yeah, but for me, it's like an hour, 2 hours in one day to save me so much time throughout the week. Because the time of making a decision, the time of like preparing food every single day, as opposed to just having it all laid out, our business is no different than that. It's taking one day to free up the rest of your week. And I know on another Zoom that I was on, Ashley said I was talking about, she's like, I almost, because we all do, a lot of us do this batch working or whatever. And she said, like, there was days where I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself because I wasn't even like taking all this time that I was taking before to write out things and da 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 da. So condensing it into one day or a couple hours saves you so much time and like mental freedom the rest of the week. Time is at 8:03. Should we give it one more minute or should we just get started?
We have a good crowd that are here on time. So, yes, thank you guys for being disciplined and intentional. Let's get this bad boy rolling.
Amen to that, sister. So we're going to start off today, like we always start off, and that's writing our commitments for the week. What are the things that you're going to do that you have complete and utter control over? So these are action-based items that you physically can do. You cannot control how many people order from you. You cannot control how many people want samples. You cannot control if your team works the business or not. What you can control are the things that you physically can do, like adding to your network, yada, yada, yada. So what are 3 commitments that you're going to make? We're going to spend the first, this shouldn't take very long. So we'll say 2 minutes just doing that. Okay, Star, do you want to bring us into our next thing what we're doing?
Yes. All right, guys. So, we typically, this is when we go to Pinterest, we typically do quotes. And if you have fallen in love with that, hey, go on with your bad self, keep it up. I'm just recommending something a little different, a little new, and using this time on Pinterest to look up blog prompts and journal prompts, monthly post strategies, basically things that can help you have different kind of conversations and find what exactly to write about, because we are supposed to have 3 posts a day. Well, I personally, my audience is good with 2, so 2 to 3 posts a day. We go over the Thrive posts here, but I still don't want you guys taking forever with your other posts, the other ones that you post during the day. So we'll take some time to do that. I invite you guys to my Pinterest. You can find me, I'll type it in here, Thriving Star 13. Or just Star Marie. You should see my picture and go to the where is it at? Oh my gosh. There we go. Growing your posts folder. And I suggest that you also make that folder for yourself. And I also suggest not only using the ones that I found, but maybe find your own. If you click on one of them, chances are, if you scroll down a little bit, there's going to be other ones that are going to be like that one. Does that make sense? Like it pulls up common ones. So I guess we could take about 10 minutes doing this, you said, Megan, or was it something else?
I'm looking for you. I can't find it. Oh, Thriving Star 13. Okay. Okay.
I'm deleting my doubles. I don't know how it got double posted there.
I can't find you. Oh, 1R. Duh, 2.
Well, dang. How long
There you are. Oh my God, I found you.
And I really like this one too, where they say, oh, never mind. That's in my intentions folder. When they say, instead of using Pinterest as just another social media outlet, use it as a search engine. Seriously, I use it as a search engine.
I use it for
all the time. In regards to you not having a Pinterest, I suggest you get one ASAP. ASAP. That's a huge key thing that can help you in your business.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you get to use this scary Google. And I say scary because you never know what you can trust. I mean, anyway, so 10 minutes. Is that okay, Megan?
10 minutes? Absolutely. Yep. That works.
Okay.
And I'll leave myself unmuted. So if you have questions, let me know. But Pinterest is life, you guys. Like, seriously, it's life. I know people think it's like for DIY and crafts and stuff like that. But for me, it's how I find quotes for all of my content. It's how I find the workouts I'm going to do. It's how I find the meals I'm going to make. It's how I find inspiration or photo ideas for Instagram. Like, I use it for everything.
Yes. Meal prepping, like literally it has everything on there. And I have to mute myself because my son is having a virtual breakfast meeting with his aunt. So I don't want you guys picking up his combo.
Okay, I'll be here unmuted if you guys need anything.
Also with Pinterest, it feels pretty good when you get that notification that somebody saved one of your pictures from your boards.
Yes. Ooh, the call to action prompts that you have on there is so good. So I wanted to talk about that too while you guys are looking through Pinterest right now. Why are prompts so important? So Star and I were talking back and forth because we always pre-plan before we get on here. And we were talking about how like sometimes you'll get like some engagement and sometimes you'll get like no engagement. And I actually follow this girl on Instagram. Her name's Jasmine Star, but she talks about you have to give your audience permission to interact with you. if you're not seeing a lot of interaction, it's probably because you're not giving them permission or you're not providing them enough value. So what are some call to actions that you can take? It's in the, what's that board you have? What it's called again? Growing your posts. You scroll down a little bit. There's one that says 20 call to action prompts for social media posts. So important for your business because it gives permission for people to reach out to you. It gives permission for people to engage on your posts if they're too scared or whatever. So like double tap if you, so that's like an Instagram one that you can use. Double tap if you, because then people will like it and it'll bring it up in the algorithm too. Tell me how you watch my story. Send me a DM if, would you rather, take a friend who, what do you do when? I need advice here. Tell me about your, I'm just naming some of these. If you are the same as me, want to know all about blank.
Or
And
please
then
tell me
try-
I'm not alone here or something like that.
Yep. One that I use is like double tap if you can relate. And then I'll like go into a story or whatever. Or I'll say, what are some other ones? Like check out my stories for, but I don't know. Those ones I feel like you're starting it almost, that might be one that you put at the end of a post as opposed to beginning. I don't see those in Stars Pinterest. So you went to Thrive and Star 13, 2 R's. It's under growing your post because I see it right away.
Yeah, don't get on, make sure you're not on my old Pinterest. My old Pinterest has a before and after of me. I am somehow locked out of that. So I created a new one, which is cool because I know all about organization nowadays. Back then I didn't. So yeah, make sure it's the new one. Okay, perfect. So at the top of the search bar, like at the very, very top of your Pinterest, like if you were to search a topic, just put in my name instead. And what I did, guys, out of all of them, I read through, I'm a skimmer, okay? I just wrote down the ones that I could see myself using. And I wrote down quite a few. To be very honest with you, I am going to print out oh my gosh, what's that thing called that has all the dates? Calendar thingy. And I'm
What's the thing that has all the dates?
I'm going to write down the prompt on each day for the whole month.
God, I love you.
Well, if
You know
y'all
the thing
wait
with the
now,
numbers
you're-
that we use every day? But this will give you ideas too. We're also going to spend time like writing down your 5 things as well. But this is a good way to get ideas to join or start the topics.
Thank you guys for like digging deeper because everybody says to talk about the 5 things, but like I didn't really, I mean, I got it, but I didn't. Like and when you had me dig deeper, I was like, now I can actually think of like good content to put out there. So thank you.
Oh, that's great. You're welcome. That's what fam does. We help one another. This is my first time on this Zoom, hoping to learn. Oh, well, welcome. And I know, Megan, you were going to tell them this, but the topic we're moving on to next, we highly recommend if you didn't watch the Zoom from last week, that you go watch that. I think that's hands down the best Zoom we've ever had. And it was so informative like I have had people on the team reach out to me that I never knew them because of that Zoom.
It's on my YouTube page. So if you just search Megan Holcomb, and it's the one Plan Your Week from 12/27.
Oh, congratulations on the new baby, other Megan. That's so exciting.
So, did you come on our Zoom last week, Courtney? Because that will really help you figure it out.
No, but I just wrote it down, so I'm gonna go back
Perfect.
and watch it for sure.
Perfect. Because we really drive down into like yeah, I mean, one of your 5 things would be that you're a mom, but like, cool. But what about that, you know? Yes. Oh, welcome. I love having new faces. This is the most that we have. I am going to announce something. I didn't even tell you, Star, that I was going to do this, but if we reach 50 participants, I'm going to do a giveaway of something cool to one person that's on.
Oh, I like that. Maybe we can alternate weeks. Like one week you'll take, I'll take the next, and so on and so forth.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
if you find value in this, like, please share with your team, because we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves apart as people from Lavelle. We're going to be different. We're going to do things different. We are going to be people that provide value. We are going to do things the right way. And that's like our whole goal with this, is that we help you do things the right way, and you build a community and you build a following and you provide value and you feel fulfilled with what you're doing every single day instead of drained. And yeah, so that's just my vision with this always.
And those of you who are participating in the Ultimate Thriver water check. I'll leave it at that. Water check.
I just drank mine. Are you watching me?
What did you say?
I just drank my water. I'm like, are you watching me?
No, I've been hammering back mine. I'm doing really freaking good. I had a strong green tea addiction, but mine was like sugary green tea. So
The not so good kind.
pretty proud of myself. You got some real competition this time around.
No, you don't. No, I don't. I'm good. I'm flipping confident, man. I tell you.
I found this free step pedometer in the Play Store, and part of its setup is it reminds you every hour to drink your water. After you set up how many ounces, it breaks down how far in between you should be drinking, and it'll remind you every hour, hey, drink your water.
That's cool. That's really cool. And
love it.
Sadie, yes, one photo. You got to have it at least from your hips up. They prefer like a full body, but hips up at least. So one photo. I took more photos for myself personally, but
Yeah, me too. I took my measurements and everything. So listen, right? I strongly recommend, because I had several of my team reaching out to me with their pictures. Be as vulnerable as you possibly can. I don't give a heck if you are scared of your own dang on picture. Y'all, there's some serious money up for grabs, okay? Get out of that comfort zone. Post the dang on picture. Pull it down past, if you have a belly, pull it down past as far as
oh dang, now I got to retake my photo because I feel like
girl, yes. Retake it. Show every bit besides the,
the bits.
I'm serious. Like, be very, very, very vulnerable, because you think, like, even if you don't want to share it right now, like, you're going to want to share it when you get those finishing results and you're announced as one of the winners anyway. So just
You mean when I'm announced the winner?
Listen, I'm talking to everybody as a whole here, miss. Just make me host so I can mute you.
Hey, I sent her my picture. I'm her mother, and she's like, pull that shirt up.
Yeah, because she had her shirt down, collar covering her belly. I'm like, come on now. You want
All right, I'm retaking mine and putting it up. You have until the 15th to get like your official photo up.
Yeah.
Dang, I thought I did a good one too, but I don't. Now that I'm looking at it, I
You
probably could be a little more vulnerable.
Yes,
There was a
you
question
can
in the
use
chat.
credits.
Okay.
Yes, you can use credits. Yes, bra and panties. Absolutely, Cal. 100%. I'm doing boy shorts, but whatever. Yes, a bikini. I did a bikini last time when I fell off the wagon.
I did leggings. But maybe I should do something else.
I did a workout outfit that's got like they're like right below the knees and a tank top, but I pulled the tank top right underneath my boobs and I pulled them leggings down underneath of that baby pouch and I took the picture.
Yep. That's perfect. I think 10 minutes is up though. We should.
Yep,
move on.
I was just going to move on to the next thing. So we're going to take some time to go through and find out topics of your 5 things. So if, like I said, if you haven't drilled down your 5 things, please go to my YouTube page and watch the video that we did last week. It says plan your week 12/27. But so write down 1 through 5 on a piece of paper or whatever you're using. I'm doing mine right now. I can't have my camera on because my computer sucks. Otherwise, I would show you what I'm doing. So, and then write your 5 things at the top of each of those, and then write a 1 to 2 topics that you can talk about in each of those buckets. What were you gonna say? Something?
Oh my gosh. I forgot to turn off my mic and you guys are picking up my son. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just thought you needed to say something. So, I'll give you a couple examples for those of you that are new. So if you're a mom, okay, what is unique about your motherhood situation? Is it that you have 3 kids? Is it that you have teens and toddlers? Is it that you are a single mom? Is it that you have a blended household? Is it that you want to help people with how to make meals that your kids are going to eat? Is it that you want to help people with navigating distance learning because that's something that you're super good at? Maybe it's how do you keep your house organized when you have crazy children, which let's be honest, it's not like nobody can do that. I'm sorry, I'm convinced. But maybe if you do, you can provide me value and tell me how, but I can't. Yeah, first time mom during a pandemic. So another one, like for me, it's health and wellness. So how am I going to talk about health and wellness? Like, it's not just going to be surface level. I'm showing my workouts and my stories every single day to hold myself accountable. Maybe talking about meal prepping and how I can help with that. Talking about the mental challenges that come with making a transition in your life or a transformation in your life. Transformation is what I meant. Maybe it's that you have a farm and you have farm animals and just showing things that you do, maybe How Thrive's helping you with keeping up with your tasks every day. Is it that you are somebody of faith? So you post about the Bible, you talk about how your faith journey, maybe you share devotionals on a live. Another one might be like you struggle with anxiety. How have you overcome anxiety? What are the battles that you still face? I'm just trying to give like quick rapid fire topics. So. One to 2 things in each category that you can post about this week.
Last night I did a live on why I'm doing what I'm doing. And even though I was all over the place, I had so many people reach out to me in Messenger telling me how they're wonderful things to be doing. And it made me feel so good.
Yes. So like yesterday, I've never done like a video where I've actually like cooked food with people. And it took a lot of vulnerability because it's a different angle that I was shooting at. And I'm still working on my own personal confidence and stuff like that with certain things. I had 360 views or something like that. Like I was not expecting that, but I can talk about this too. If you're having a struggle with understanding what your audience wants to see, this is what I did last week. This last week, I should say. I think I posted it on Thursday. I just asked my audience, with a new year, my focus is to help as many people as possible and provide value where I can. So tell me, what would you like to see more of? That's what I did in my stories. And then I did on Instagram, I did like the questions that you can do. and I just had like some of my topics that I like to talk about, because it's important to understand where can you provide value to. So like if people, and then you make more of that content to help people. So for me, people were saying mindset and health and wellness, like workout and meals and stuff like that. So I'm like, so obviously I need to focus on those things. I'm not going to talk a lot about, I can't even think of something stupid that I don't do, but I'm going to focus on those things because that's what my audience asked for. My social media isn't for me. Your social media isn't for you. It is for the people that you're trying to reach. Just got a message. Sorry. So 1 to 2 topics in every bucket.
Okay, so in regards to Ultimate Thriver story, I think that that's supposed to be written after the 12 weeks are done when you submit your final picture, Anna.
No, it says,
No?
why are you doing this?
I was reading the last year ones because I had the same
We
question.
have you do one at the end too.
Oh, for real?
Uh-huh.
Well, snap. Well, thank you for
I'm going to
telling me
pull it up.
that, and I'm
just
so
to-
sorry, Anna, for misinforming you. I was reading them from the last year's results just because I didn't know.
Tell us
Well,
about your-
last year they only had us do the story at the end. Now they're giving it to us the beginning and the end. Like, why are you doing it? And then what you're going to get out of it. I mean, what you're getting out of it at the end, or what you've got out of. I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe it is.
Hold on.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think we should definitely submit a ticket before we move further, though, because it can be kind of gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, last season it was very great because it said something similar, but it
Well,
wouldn't
it's
let
at
you
the
submit
bottom,
anything.
right? Like right where the last week picture is.
Well, I
Well,
don't
it's
think
right
we
underneath it.
put it in.
It's all in line.
Oh yeah, because it says, tell us about your journey, the Thrive products you use, and why this content or this contest is important to you. Well, that should have been worded differently because is present tense.
True that. I mean, it still will be important to you even on the last day.
Well, right. Okay.
It's going to be
So-
important to me when they send me that $50,000 check.
Nah, well, you're in a different group than me, so yeah, you can
Yep.
win.
Sorry, Megan. We're gonna be $100,000 family over here. So
That's true. I feel like I've been preparing for this moment my entire life.
I'm just excited to have my
God just wanted me to gain all this weight for a reason.
yeah, I guess so. Well, there's a good way to look at it.
Some of us have been here for the last competition, but for some reason, I feel this time
Different.
I'm so much more into it than I was before. Are other people feeling like that?
Yes, I am.
Yep. Well, and here's the thing with me, like I was excited at first for the last one, but it just, I don't know, like I said, things feel different right now. I was super excited about the last one. I even like did it the entire time, but I was not consistent at all. And that's
I
like
fell off
when
like in the
all
first
the
2 weeks.
that's when all the big C little V stuff started happening. So I kind of let that mess with my mindset.
Big C little. I love
I don't know if YouTube is going to take it off if I say it. So I have no idea.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. But when you first started this Zoom and you said there's been like a shift.
Yep.
I think that kind of reignited that thought. Like what we just mentioned here, how we feel different about it this time around. I really feel like there's a whole shift in the entire universe. And I
Mhm.
think it's because of the hell year we all went through. I think that we are able to grasp onto the good things, the things that we once took advantage of. So yeah. Oh my gosh. What are we even on?
What?
What are we even on?
We're working on our 5 things for the week.
Okay.
So writing 2 topics in each of your 5 thing buckets that you can talk about this week on your social media.
We started talking about the ultimate driver.
It's because I'm pumped, man.
Same.
That's one of my 5 things.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I labeled it as health and fitness, but that's why.
I'm just going to tell you, like, so for example, one of the things that I did before, and I might have shared the story before, I don't know, but I went to Texas for a leadership retreat. And one of the things I used to do for one of my 5 things was every time I would work out for my own accountability, I would post my workout in my stories. And I stopped doing it for a little while. And then there was a girl that was at our retreat that I was talking to. And she was like, I love watching your workouts because it helped me stay motivated. And I was like, well, shoot, like it wasn't just for me, like somebody else needed that too. So I shortchanged her by not continuing with it because I was helping her in the process as well. And that can go with anything that you're talking about that is specific to you. So if one of your things is anxiety, maybe you talking about how you overcame that can be the key to help somebody else too. Maybe you talking about how you stay organized with managing distance learning can save a mom her like mental health. So what you talk about is important to other people. As much as you might not think it's significant, it can be significant to somebody else. I don't know what the age of Aquarius is, but I am an Aquarius. I'm making good time today, Star.
Which surprises me because we have definitely gone off left a few times.
I blame my ADHD.
I have to leave my desk for like 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. When she gets back, then we'll move on to the next topic. If you have questions at any time, drop them in the chat because we're going to allow for a couple minutes at the end for us to just like do Q&A sessions, and we'll go back through the chat and like look and see what questions you guys had too, because we want to make sure that we're providing you guys with as much value as well. So if you have questions, we want to make sure they're answered for you.
I'm back.
Okay. So we're going to go now into the Thrive topics for the week. So we'll give you guys a Thrive idea for every single day so that you have that as well. It's Thrive is a part of your life. It isn't your life. You are not a walking billboard. Thrive, Lavelle has already built their brand. So you don't need to rebrand for them. You are building you. People buy from you, but we want to make sure that we're helping you incorporate the products and the business into your social media every single day and how you can make it a part of you, not all of you. And shoot, I was going to say something else. No, I totally forgot. Oh, well. So let's start with Monday. And I said, start while you were away. The last couple minutes, we're going to allow for Q&A so that we'll go through the chat when people have questions and we can answer them at the end. And then people can unmute themselves if they have questions and that sort of thing too. So Monday, it has been a long weekend for a lot of people. So a lot of people are off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they're trying to get back into the swing of Monday. So what my thought is, the beginning of the day on Monday, people aren't going to read a long post. So do not make a long post. It should be something short, sweet, that's going to help them feel motivated for their day and for their week. You can use Pinterest to find a quote that suits you. However you're feeling or how you think your audience is feeling for the week, that sort of thing. Later at night on Monday, talk about how Thrive has carried you through your day. So maybe this might look like taking a picture with you playing with your kids and talking about how you have energy up until they go to bed to actually play with them. Or maybe it's your kids are in sports and you're at a sporting event and you're able to be present with them and have the energy and da-da-da. So however that looks like, you got to show it's more than just waking up in the morning. People are looking for that sustained energy all day long. So showcasing that is so important. So how are you going to show on Monday that Thrive is helping you at the end of your day? I'm writing it down. So. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, ma'am. I think you covered it pretty well.
And obviously this is a big week for you guys, for us, all of us, you guys, all of us, because something big is coming on the 7th. So we're going to try to talk about how you can set that up to you can progress into that. Tuesday is payday. One thing I think it is important to do is yes, I think it's important to talk about the small things that your business helps you with, like gas and groceries and yada, yada, yada. But I think it's also helpful to know, where is the mindset of your audience, or where was your mindset before you started? So on Tuesday, I think it's important for us to address the fears that people might have. You have to call out how people are feeling to really put their mind at ease. If you're somebody that's saying, I suck at enrolling promoters, it's because you're not, A, not talking about it, or B, you're not understanding the mindset of where your audience is. So on Tuesday, I'm sorry, I'm super stuffy. My whole house is dry. We'll talk about fears that people might have. So taking time today to write down what are some fears that you had before you initially joined, because you know that all of you were hesitant at one point in time. Either you sat and watched somebody for a while, or something like that. Some of the typical fears, at least these are the ones that I had. I don't think I can do that. What if I fail at it? What are some other, what are my friends and family going to think? You got to acknowledge those things, because that's what they're thinking, and then put their mind at ease as well. So saying, I know you're thinking blah, 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 but let me tell you, this is what I've experienced, blah, 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 blah. Do you want to add anything to that, Star?
No.
No.
I'm just being honest. Like if I think you covered something pretty good, like I'm not going to add on it and then potentially cause confusion or contradiction.
Do you want to talk about Wednesday, kind of what your thoughts are on Wednesday?
Yes, absolutely. So I was going to hold on, let me find it. Let me find it. I just had it. Oh, right here. It was a part of the prompts. So in my Pinterest, it was writing a letter to my body and how it carries me and it keeps me going. And then I'm going to include in that letter how I promise to start taking better care of it. With what I eat, my water, fitness, stuff like that.
So that can be acknowledging the fact that, like, yes, the products make you feel good, but you have to meet them halfway. And because I think a lot of people think, oh, it's a magical pill. And then they get frustrated when they don't drop 10 pounds in a week,
Right. And I've had that happen sometimes. Like I told you, listen, you have to kind of just like those of you who are faith-based, like you can pray to God for something to happen in your life, but if you don't take the steps that you need to take to also make it happen, he can't do it by himself. You have to meet him halfway.
Right. And the same thing with our products. Yes, it's meant to fit in your lifestyle, but I think again, going back to how are we going to set ourselves apart from other companies? How we're going to do that is being honest with people and saying, this isn't a magic pill, but it is going to help you feel good to want to do good, or that sort of thing, meeting it halfway. Because I think a lot of people will see, especially if you're doing this Ultimate Thriver thing, they'll see like, oh, well, I thought you were using weight loss products. Why are you doing that now, or whatever? I think you would need to acknowledge the elephant in the room and say, I'm not saying this is a magic thing. I'm saying that this is how it's made me feel. Therefore, it's changed this many things in my life, my mindset, the way I feel, the confidence I have, the drive to just want to do better, the actual energy to be active, acknowledging those elephants in the room. Love that. So Thursday is the big announcement, you guys. Star, how do you think you're going to set that day up? Because I'm not sure if they're going to, and this is what I'm guessing might happen, is they'll have a stateable of alcohol Thursday night at like 6 p.m. So we won't know until the end of the day.
Right. So I hate when you put me on the spot because I'll be honest, I don't freaking know. I know one thing when they announce the and I've done it in the past too, like when they announce certain things, like when they announced the 25% bonus for the holiday, I went live immediately when I was in my feels. I went live and I was vulnerable. People seen me cry. I briefly went over what life was like before this business opportunity. And I spoke from my heart and I told them what the company was doing for us. So I'll most likely.
Boom, that's it. That's all we got to do. You guys, this is going to be a challenge for those of you that need to step outside your comfort zone.
Yes.
Go live and talk about it. How you're truly feeling. Don't try to make it look pretty. Don't try to say things that you that aren't true. Talk about how you're really feeling.
Yep. Exactly.
You're gonna add something and I cut you off. I'm sorry.
I forget, but that's okay because it was all around the same topic. I had people reach out to me about that because I was being open. I was showing my human, which is something I always strongly recommend. Show your human every single day, and be relatable. I went over my past, I went over my present, and how that announcement is going to help us, or how it was going to, how it's going to help us and our family. And I don't know if it's about bonuses or whatever it is, but somehow, some way, fit it into your life and be vulnerable.
Yes.
Your life experiences, sorry, is what I meant to say.
I know it's very exciting how he says that they're going to rock the industry in a colossal way. So if you know anybody in the direct marketing area, no matter where they're at, tell them to watch and get driving as soon as possible.
So
Yeah.
do you want to kind of give your mindset about that, Star? Because you and I talked about that this morning and like your thought process.
Yeah, so my thought process is because he said that, because he said direct selling as a whole, he didn't say health and wellness industry. And I feel like if it was a product release, I feel that he would have said specifically health and wellness. That's why I have this feeling that it's going to be something to deal with compensation, whether it be a new addition to the comp plan, a bonus of some sort, something. And again, that's just because of how he worded it.
Yep, absolutely. Because if it was product related, I think, I don't know. It's
Now,
not
if
product.
it is product related,
It's not. It's not. I know. It's
yeah,
not.
I was gonna say if it is, don't come yelling at us.
But I have like they wouldn't say that kind of thing, I don't think.
Exactly.
I think it's going to be a little bit of both because his post right before that, he's got that bag attached to him that kind of looks like an IV. And they've been
Themselves.
talking about the detoxification system, like a TRS system that takes detoxifying product materials out of your body. And he's been talking about they've been talking about new bonuses that nobody's ever seen. So I think it's going to be a mixture of both.
Could be.
It very well
Courtney.
could be, or right after another.
Yeah. Courtney, that makes you a human, and that's fine. If your baby cries a lot and that makes you scared, that my daughter will literally burst into my lives as I'm doing them. And I'm like, welcome to my crazy life.
Yes.
You can
yes.
do this too. I'm a mom and I can still work this business, even with my crazy daughter bursting into my life 555 times.
Yes. Amen. Because
And-
Abel and Silas, my younger two, they're
Oh,
always
you cry a lot.
Wait,
Girl,
as a
I cry
mom-
so much on my lives. Don't
Oh
worry.
my
as
gosh,
a
that's
mom with
me
4
too.
olders, Star, hush for a minute. As a mom with 4 olders, if a kid cries a lot, they're quiet as they get older. But the quiet ones, God, they never shut up.
So anyway, she said it was her mom.
No, I'm talking about my kids, like Skylar. She was so quiet, but now she don't shut up.
You're so mean. I'm telling you.
No, it's me. And it's like anytime I feel like that, I like get a little bit deep, like for real, the tears come so
I'm telling you,
quickly.
Courtney, do it and watch your inbox explode. I'm dead serious. Listen, do some heavy interaction before you go live. Go live and let them see your tears. They're going to see that you're real. They're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, this has really helped this chick. Look at her." That is a clear way to show emotion.
It's my cats.
Listen, if you're that worried about it, there is a feature on Facebook to where you can go live for just yourself or just a select audience. So maybe
I'm telling you, the best way to do it is jump in.
Well, I'm talking about baby steps over here.
Do it scared. If you're
Yeah.
really wanting this to be the year of transformation for your life, do it scared anyways. My
Or
word
look
is
alive for
uncomfortable
yourself
this year.
first at one,
What? What'd you say?
No, you totally cut off my tip there, but I do. I co-sign on yours. But like when I first joined this type of business, I was doing leggings and I wanted to do a live sale. I was so nervous. So I went on there and I did it for just me to see, kind of like a trial type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just get me used to it.
Yeah, that's true.
You can swipe the comments to the side, by the way.
Yeah, you can if they distract you.
Yep.
Because they can be distracting. But I'm telling you, do you guys want to know what my first live looked like? So Stephanie Grachik is my person that enrolled me. And so we planned, we're going to go live. This is going to be my first time going live, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? We did not communicate who was going live on whose page. So I have 2 minutes of literally me just sitting there because I thought she was coming onto my page and she thought I was going onto her page. And it was awkward and I cried and I got caught in a rainstorm coming home from work that day because my windshield wiper blew off. So I looked like a hot mess. I looked like a lion, you guys. I had never done it before. I was freaking shaking. I was scared, but I got the most response out of it. And here's something that I heard the other day from, again, Jasmine Star, I believe, because somebody was talking about, oh, I'm afraid to do Instagram lives. She said, tell them you are. Like, if you acknowledge that the elephant in the room, how you're truly feeling in the beginning, like you've already set that and it's done. So you don't need to, I'm really scared of doing this. I'm afraid that my message won't come across the way I want it to. So bear with me, guys, and I appreciate your support. Like, if you say that stuff, like, you're giving your audience like the at ease that you're not trying to pretend to be something you're not, but you're also letting them know that you're a human being. But you have to say, like, I don't feel like I could express how I'm feeling about this in a post. So that's why I came on live for my first time. Yes. Call it out.
I go live on, a kind of regular basis, not every single day, but last night Facebook really messed with me and it didn't even show me it was live when it was. So I ended up repeating myself and it was just like hilarious and funny. But again, you can go live a lot and it's still scary each time you do it, but just do it scared. Again, I had so many people run to my messenger to encourage me and telling me, thank you for showing who you are. You just inspired me to do it. And it's just amazing what it can do for you internally and help others at the same time.
So I'm going through the questions. One of them was, we just lost someone close to us a few days ago. So drop your questions in the chat, or I'm going to answer this one and then we'll go forward. Just lost someone close to you. How do you talk about that without being insensitive or appearing insensitive? Everyone deals with loss in different ways, of course. But B, you got to do it when you feel right, first of all. Going through the healing process, yeah, you can post about it, acknowledging like that it happened and saying like that it caught you off guard and what you've learned from that experience. But I think like you got to do some healing before you like really talk about that. Sarah, did you want to add anything to that?
I'm so sorry. I totally missed it. I was talking to my son.
They lost somebody close to them and they're wondering how they can talk about that without appearing as insensitive.
Oh, if you speak from your heart, I don't feel like it would be insensitive. But if you have a close friend or somebody on your team, or maybe even your upline, maybe like write it out and then send it to them and get their outlook on it.
Yeah. But you're not alone in that you lost somebody you love. There's lots of people that have experienced that heartache, unfortunately. And yeah, so I just want you to know that you're not alone, whoever you are. And I will pray for you. I know you said recently, but talk about it when you feel like it's on your heart to talk about it. Don't force it. It can be a tool to help you connect to other people and help you can be a catalyst to help somebody else through their hurt, but you got to heal yourself first for sure.
And then somebody just asked if we're going to finish out the topics. Yeah, for Friday.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. No, it's okay. For Friday, we kind of had that blank, but I was thinking of like Fearless Friday or just piggybacking off of the big announcement on Thursday, especially if the state of Lavelle call is at night
Yeah.
Thursday.
So maybe it's if along with Fearless Friday, you could talk. I mean, I know we do like Flex Friday, but don't hate me. I feel like it's not done the right way a lot of the times, and then it's ineffective.
Yes, thank you for addressing the freaking elephant in the room.
I'm gonna be honest.
So why don't you share
I,
on Flex Friday, because I feel like I have shared this before and I still see people doing drive-bys.
mhm.
You know what I mean by drive-bys? Like, here's my pick, I'm done.
Yeah, it doesn't, there's like no value add. Cause I'll be like, what is Thrive helping my friends do today? And then they'll just drop their picture and I'm like, okay, cool. But I wanted you to say something.
Right.
I get that it shows community, but I think there's other ways that we can do that too, through showing that we're doing like this Zoom together. So like showing that in your stories or taking a picture and posting about it and why this is so helpful and why you love it so much. I don't know. I'm at odds with it. So I like Fearless Friday. So maybe it's talking about what are some fears that you've had to conquer in your personal life, and how has this business helped you become more courageous? Because all of us had to experience at some point where we had to step outside our comfort zone. I'm going through the questions. Hold on 1 minute. I don't do a posting app. It really hurts your algorithm. You struggle to post consistently. And I think, Megan, maybe that's because you just don't know. Is it maybe you struggle to post consistently because you don't know what to say and then you procrastinate? Or is your life really that chaotic to which then use one day to create all of your content for the week, set a timer on your phone for what time you can do it, copy whatever you wrote, paste it, take the picture, post it.
Yep. And I forget who it was who suggested it. They gave us a little, I think it was Ashley Sy. And I know you do this too, Megan. And I fell off the bandwagon, but take several pictures, like find a day where you can take pictures to use throughout the week. Just change your shirt and do it in different spots, outside, inside, wherever.
I'm doing that today, by the way.
Yeah, me too. And then I would also suggest getting into Reels. If you don't know how to do Reels, YouTube is a beautiful, also can be used as a search engine. I know there's some tutorials on there that you can look up. So maybe make like 5 to 10 reels to use throughout the week. Maybe prepare your stories throughout the week, like your morning stories. Get all of those done, because that's something that takes me a lot of time. It takes me like 45 minutes to get my stories done in the morning. And I'm like, no, there's got to be more to life. So when she said that, I'm like, oh yeah, bet.
So, I mean, there's obviously some things that you want to organically do, like in your stories where
right.
highlighting the behind the scenes, but there's so many things that you can do ahead of time, like product pictures for the morning.
Yes.
You ain't got to take dude, I borrow ones that I posted a long time ago all the dang time.
Yes,
People don't remember. And I think you said, where did Megan say? You not knowing what to say and getting sidetracked. I know you said you're new, Virginia. So go back to our last post or our last Zoom of this. If you go to my YouTube page, Megan Holcomb, it's the one from 12/27. Rewatch that one, because that helps you decide, how can I talk about things? What do I talk about? I got on Facebook, getting sucked into the black hole of Facebook. Here's the first thing that I suggest if you feel like you're getting sucked into the black hole of scrolling. Stay off the newsfeed completely. Do not do anything on the newsfeed. So you open your Facebook app. If you're posting, go straight to your profile because you can do everything you need to do from there, your post, your story, whatever. If you need to engage with people in your friends list, click on friends. Do not go through the news feed because chances are a lot of those people will probably be Thrivers because you're interacting back and forth if you have Thrivers on your page. It'll be a lot of the groups that you're in, stuff like that. People that already are engaging with you will show up in your news feed. If you're needing to touch new people, go to your friends list, start with A, and interact that way.
Yes, if you were on the Zoom on Monday, Stephanie Grachik's Zoom, I touched on this about setting boundaries on social media with who and what you're allowing to speak into your life. If you go on there, definitely try not to scroll like Megan said. But if you have to, make sure you're scrolling intentionally. So if you see something that pops up that does not that could potentially screw up your mindset or ruin your day, unfollow that person. And if it's that bad, just delete them if they're a friend, or if it's a page, unlike it. Get that out of your
Don't be afraid of hoarding friends because for the sake of hoarding friends.
Oh yeah, I've done that several times this past year.
If you have to set a time, notifications. I shut all of my notifications off, including Messenger. I know that's like anxiety ridden for a lot of people because they're like, well, if I don't answer them right away, they're not going to be interested. Not true. So I shut off all of my notifications and I intentionally go into my phone at certain points of the day and interact that way.
Hey, I have to hop off. I'm so sorry. Love you guys.
No,
Have a
you're
good
fine.
week.
Love you. Let's see. The one, it's 12/27, plan your week. I'm just gonna try to wrap things up here for you guys. Yeah, you got to do a cleansing sometimes. Don't be afraid to unfriend people because you're just wanting that number of friends. It's more important for you to be connecting with the right people than it is for you to have a bajillion followers. You're so welcome. I'm going to stop recording.